Imagine waking up in a valley overrun by creatures at night, exploring an alien ocean where the pressure could crush you, and still trading gunfire with machines in an underground city, all in the same release window. Today I bring 12 survival games that promise to make you hold your breath, plan every step, and sometimes laugh as you die. Stay until the end. There are surprises, predictions, and 3 picks that could become classics. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. It helps a lot, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. Starting with Dying Light Beast, it kind of returns to the series' roots. The story takes place in Castor Woods, an isolated valley with a sort of Twin Peaks, Stranger Things vibe, so expect constant tension. Kyle Crane is back after years in captivity, and there are no ready-made answers. The point here is to survive, soak up the atmosphere, and take well-timed scares. If you like visceral brawls, the new physics system and the so-called beast mode make combat much more brutal. You can go in with brute force when needed, but don't forget that stealth and bait still save lives. Parkour has been adapted to the rural environment, climb rocks, jump cliffs, and use the map to your advantage. There's co-op for up to 4 players, great if you enjoy teaming up and devising tactics. Technically speaking, the game demands powerful hardware. Prepare a strong PC or current-gen console to enjoy ray tracing and 4K without suffering.
That fucker will pay for what he did to me. All the years he took from me, all the agony he put me through.
You want revenge?
Damn right I do!
Silent Hill F arrives wrapped in fog and mystery, set in 1960s Japan. The game places you in a dense, claustrophobic atmosphere. The protagonist is young and vulnerable, and the setting turns everyday life into a nightmare. Prepare for a horror focused on tension, not gunplay. Combat will be melee and will demand timing, dodging, and careful use of focus mode. Managing stamina and sanity will be essential. Both can affect your perception and your chances of escaping unscathed. You'll need to explore very carefully. Evasugeoka hides secrets on every street and every swamp, and collectibles grant upgrades that make a difference later on. Weapon durability will require constant maintenance. Don't underestimate the need to repair or swap equipment before it's too late. The game rewards multiple playthroughs. There are different endings and extra content that only appears in replays. Adjust the graphics options according to your hardware to prioritize stability or visual fidelity. Finally, surrender to the atmosphere. Silent Hill F promises to prioritize mystery, sound, and mood. So get ready, take a deep breath, and let the experience guide you.
一人は嫌だよ。寂しいよ。ずっと一緒だよって約束したよね。暗いのは嫌。
ARC Raiders, a third-person extraction shooter from Embark Studios, scheduled for October 30th, 2025. The game takes place in 2180, on a devastated Earth. The surface will be dominated by machines called Ark, while humanity shelters in Speranza, an underground city. As a raider, you'll head to the surface on raids of up to 30 minutes to gather resources, fight machines, and compete with other players. If you don't extract, the loot is lost. Technically, it's being developed in Unreal Engine 5 and will feature fluid movement mechanics, sliding, climbing, zip lines, and omnidirectional dodges. Combat will favor the so-called beats and flows. Energy shields will change the rhythm of fights. And there will be only 5 types of ammunition to simplify management. Progression will combine a skill tree conditioning, mobility, survival, crafting in the workshop, and traders with quests. Progress will be persistent even after death. A game to keep an eye on. Tormented Souls II, the sequel to the cult classic, developed by Dual Effect and scheduled for release on October 23, 2025. The game retains the feel of classic survival horror, fixed cameras, tank controls, and complex puzzles, now running on Unreal Engine 5. The protagonist is Caroline Walker. The story picks up 6 months after Wildberger. Anna, her sister, is haunted by visions that become reality, leading Caroline to Villa Hesse, a remote town in Chile full of abandoned convents, malls, and monasteries. Gameplay: tense combat with improvised weapons, quick equipment selection, and strict resource management. The big difference is the alternation between realities. The other side allows you to change the past to affect the present in puzzles that rely on light, VHS tapes, and mirrors. There will be 2 modes: classic old school difficulty and assisted autosave. The game will be 3 times larger than the first title. The demo received positive feedback for its atmosphere and puzzles. Worth keeping an eye on the October release.
We locked up in this horrible place. Please, help me.
What happened here?
This damn place can bring out the darkness in our hearts. You have no idea how powerful it is.
Subnautica 2, the sequel to the underwater survival game from Unknown Worlds. The game keeps the central premise, exploration, survival, and discovery in a vast, unpredictable alien ocean. Here, you once again control a survivor who lands on an oceanic planet with varied biomes, shallow reefs, absol plains, forests of glowing corals, and deep trenches. The emphasis is on verticality. There is much more playable depth and pressure systems that affect equipment and progression. Gameplay, exploration in advanced underwater vehicles, construction of underwater bases with interconnected power and recycling systems, and management of oxygen and temperature. New features include a dynamic ecosystem with reactive food chains, giant creatures with patrol behaviors, environmental events like currents and hydrothermal eruptions. Progression will be centered on research, scanners, blueprints, and upgrades that unlock access to deeper zones. Subnautica promises to expand the sense of wonder and danger of the original, an essential title for exploration fans. Breathedge arrives promising to expand on everything that worked in the first game. This game is, above all, a mix of exploration and dark humor. If you played the original, you know the vibe is about gathering resources, fixing things, and dealing with absurd situations in space, only now on a larger scale. From trailers and demos, it seems the world has opened up. More biomes, bigger ships, and that dark humor present in dialogues and item descriptions. Survival mechanics remain at the core, managing oxygen, repairing modules, and improvising tools, but there are signs they'll offer deeper crafting systems, and more approach options, stealth, clumsy combat, or pure improvisation with space junk. The demo showed interesting collectibles and side missions that actually make exploration feel worthwhile, not just a checklist filler. We don't yet know how the final balance turned out. We'll only know when the full release arrives, but if it keeps the tone and expands on the first game's ideas, it could be a find for those who enjoy personality-driven exploration. Breathedge looks ready to make you laugh while you try not to die in the vacuum.
In the demo.
Light No Fire. It's the ambitious new project from Hello Games, and yes, it's big, unlike No Man's Sky. This one is a single massive planet full of biomes, cities, and hidden secrets waiting for you to explore. The game aims to offer true exploration, fewer annoying map markers, more organic encounters. The idea is to get lost in this world while finding unexpected things. It recalls the best of open world design, but amplified, mounts unique creatures, dynamic weather systems, and even magic combined with technology. Multiplayer seems focused on spontaneous encounters, not a constant dungeon experience, but cooperative moments that flow when players cross pots in dense regions. There will be crafting, base building, and a local economy. Everything suggests progression will balance exploration and reward without turning everything into a checklist. Of course, much is still speculation until release, but from the trailers and interviews the promise is clear, a deep, immersive exploration experience. If Hello Games keeps the touch of the first game, a sense of discovery around every corner, Light No Fire could be something truly special.
Takes your hand to warm the cold side of the pillow. I'm there for you, be there for me. I'm the soldiers sing as they march outside our window under the pine.
Blackfrost, The Long Dark 2. This is the successor to The Long Dark, and from what we've seen, it wants to expand the survival formula. The original was about atmosphere, slow building tension, and making every resource count. This one seems to keep that vibe, only bigger. We're talking about cities swallowed by radioactive snow, storms that reshape the map, and a system called Will to Live that changes your day-to-day priorities. The trailers suggest co-op, new layers of survival like permalife, and longer expeditions across varied biomes. It doesn't come across as a game that just stacks mechanics. It seems to want you to plan, adapt, and feel the weight of your choices. If Hinterland preserves the immersive tension of the first game and adds meaningful systems, this could become a must-play for survival fans. We'll only know for sure in early access, but honestly, I'm curious. Frostrail. It's still early to say for sure. Bugs and balancing are common in early access, but if the studio keeps up the pace, Frostrail could become a benchmark for survival games with a mobile base. Keep an eye on it. This game places you on a colossal train cutting through a frozen world. It's survival, but the differentiator is the train. You manage warmth, fuel, crew, and repair chains while progressing through icy landscapes full of dangers. The game seems to combine exploration and tension. There are moments to scavenge stations and ruins, and moments to hold the doors against creatures called revenants. Visually, the dieselpunk Art Deco aesthetic gives a personality that helps a lot with immersion. From what can be seen in the trailers and early access, there's deep crafting, train upgrades, and risk versus reward systems that make every stop matter. There's also co-op for up to 4 players, which should make train management a very different experience when you play with friends. There's hype, hundreds of thousands of wishlists, and a very enthusiastic community. Under a Rock. This is an exploration and building game with a constant sense of surprise. From what we've seen, the pitch here is simple and ambitious, a huge procedural world, roughly 24 square miles, where you not only explore caves and the surface, but build massive bases, traverse varied biomes, and face creatures that react to the ecosystem. The promised feeling is freedom, no marking only missions on the screen. You wander, find secrets, build your way, and uncover hidden mechanics. There's a combat system, survival elements, deep crafting, and even underwater and treetop construction, features that truly change how you play. If Under a Rock can balance scale and stability, it could become one of those open world games you simply can't put down. Until the final version arrives, it's worth following and adding to your wish list. Outward 2. This is the long-awaited successor to the cult survival RPG Outward, and from what we've seen, the intention is to expand everything that worked, keeping survival at the center, with hunger and weather, but now with larger regions, new biomes, and a more deliberate pace. Combat seems more fluid, dual-wielding, clearer enemy tells, and a focus on stamina and positioning instead of button mashing without thinking. Exploration looks intentional, no repetitive chores with hidden caves, environmental puzzles and towns that reward curiosity. The engine swap should deliver bigger vistas and more polished lighting, but it may also raise system requirements. Don't be surprised if the specs go up. Co-op remains a focus, local, and online options that should keep groups playing. There are still unknowns, release window, mod support, and final performance, but the trailers show a clear vision. Then is common in pre-alpha builds. If 9 Dots can scale the world without losing the survival loop, Outward could be the best version yet. Either way, we'll only know when final version is in hand. Stay tuned.
No, darling. Even ordinary people can do extraordinary things. Look how far our world has expanded. All because they chose to venture into the unknown. Don't hold their hand. Just open the door, and they'll do the rest.
And finally, State of Decay 3 arrives with big promises that alone gets attention. Developed by Undead Labs and Unreal Engine 5, the game aims to scale everything, larger maps, more reactive AI, and a clear focus on community survival. If you played the previous entries, you know the series is about hard choices, managing resources, protecting your community, and deciding who stays or goes. Here, we expect those decisions to become more meaningful, with long-term consequences. From leaks and confirmed information, there will be more base customization, coop options, and a living world with dynamic hordes and varied environments to explore. This could turn each expedition into a calculated risk instead of simple material farming. The core idea is solid. Make the tension of surviving more palpable, without losing that sense of progress the series delivers. In the end, the big question is whether Undead Labs can balance scale and identity. If they keep the focus on human stories within the apocalypse, State of Decay 3 has everything to be the chapter the franchise deserved.
And that helped us find the courage to keep going. To fight on. When we needed it the most.
What ties these 12 games together is not just the survival mechanics, but the promise to put you in weighty decisions, choosing between exploring or retreating, saving an ally or conserving resources, risking yourself for loot that could change your fortunes. Some will test your patience with psychological tension, others will challenge your creativity with deep systems, and a few will simply make you laugh while everything goes wrong. If a game piqued your curiosity today, add it to your wish list and come back here later. I want to know which one gripped you the most. If you took something useful from this video, comment which mechanic you find most interesting and why. If you enjoyed the content, drop a like, subscribe, and hit the bell. There's a lot more coming.